Here I was trying to watch a little TV, trying to have a relaxing Wednesday evening. And what do? I do a bonehead, stupid thing. I had an episode of First Take recorded. And what I do, let me see what they're talking about today. I kind of knew what they was talking about already. It was the Cowboys. The Cowboys keep everybody afloat. But this is what, the new term, a phrase that's been out for, a couple of years now. It's called gaslighting. We never heard that term. At least that wasn't a term, in my hood where I grew up at, but it's called gaslighting now. And so Stephen A. and all his compadres know how to push the right buttons and gaslight. And I guess I was gaslit. Okay. All right. Yeah, I know this is a big thing about Jerry Jones, the Dallas Cowboys, and CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott, and, it's a dispute over the contracts. And next year it's going to be Michael Parsons. All right. Here's the deal. Here's the dealio. They got a round table of folk who are they wake up in the morning, they brush their teeth, they eat their Wheaties, they go into work, and on their mind the entire time is the Dallas Cowboys, because that's how they get paid. Let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys. We're in the off season right now. Well, is it officially off season? Because we're in training camp right now. But it's not here nor there. They talk about the Dallas Cowboys, and it's going to be their contract. So normally it's probably like 10 minutes of the Cowboys. They stop, talk about somebody else, racetrack or, little box, anything. But they always revert and go back to the Dallas Cowboys, always. But this time, it's like 45 minutes, seems like, of just the Dallas Cowboys. It's the Dallas. I mean, how many teams are in the National Football League? Really, seriously. How many teams are in the league? Yeah, I'll wait. How many teams are in the league? And it's always the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, I love it. I do love it. But there's certain people who really, I'm going to use that term again, gaslight. And Stephen A. is not, believe it or not, he's not one of them, but because Stephen know his stuff. I know he does this, he got a show, and this is how to, parlay the Cowboys to make some cash. Yeah, okay, it makes sense, and everybody do it. But the ones who wants to, to ride his coattails, that's what bothers me. Because, you have a conversation with them in one-on-one, they wouldn't be able to carry anybody's water, okay, whatever that means. All right, so on this round table, of course, you have Molly, and Steven, he's not in the studio, but he's there. But you have the Mad Dog. You have Ellie Duncan, this woman, Ellie Duncan, this sister girl, Ellie Duncan. Louis Riddick, a brother who used to work in the front office. I forget what team, but he worked in the front office. And Kmart, Kimberly Martin. Ooh, she loves to talk about the Dallas Cowboys in the most negative fashion because it's the end thing to do, right? So, believe it or not, they had some really good points on Dak Prescott. Not Brett, but yeah, that too, but more so Jerry Jones and CeeDee Lamb, and more so CeeDee Lamb. Steven had a really good point, which, okay, I had to sit back and think about this for a second, about getting paid. Right now, the highest paid quarterback right now is Jordan Lewis, $55 million, right? I believe. And right behind him is Trevor Lawrence, quarterback, and Joe Burrow, and then Tia Tagovailoa from Miami, and Jared Goff. Now, those are quarterbacks. The wide receivers, is Justin Jackson, the highest paid, 35 million. That's the average right now. AJ Brown, he's getting paid pretty well for the Eagles, the filthy Eagles. So I'm going to comment on the quarterback issue, and I'm going to comment on the wide receiver issue with regard to Jerry Jones and paying, his players. So Stephen Jones goes on and say that he seems it's a pattern that Jerry Jones is showing and producing with paying his players who have earned it. And Emmitt Smith, as I alluded to in my last video, held out after winning a Super Bowl, the first Super Bowl under Jerry Jones. And the Cowboys started 0-2, so, it was a lot of pressure on him to go ahead and sign Emmitt Smith, which he did. Emmitt got paid. And then I argued in my last video, well, CeeDee Lamb had not really, even though he got tremendous numbers, like top 5 numbers, top 4 numbers from last season. And now they're saying he's like top 4, top 5 QB of all QB. I mean, a wide receiver of all wide receivers in the league right now. So he but okay, and I get it. He gonna get paid. He's gonna get paid 30-something mil. Right? He's gonna get his money. They're saying, why wait and why you got to take him through the hoops to do this? Just go pay him. Why? So Steven was pointing out the pattern that Jerry Jones have with the Dallas Cowboys in paying the players. But he didn't have that pattern when it came to Tony Romo. Now, it was the pink elephant in the room. I know we were saying Tony Romo, white guy, quarterback. Why not Dak Prescott? Why not CeeDee Lamb? Why they have to go through this loop that Jerry Jones is taking them to, these hoops? There's a good argument that Dak Prescott is not top 5 quarterback in the league, top five QB in the league. But there's a good argument that, CeeDee Lamb is top 5, top 4, maybe top 3, but top 4 in the league. And so therefore he should not have to, go through this, that Jerry Jones, what he's taking him through, right? And so, Stephen A made a good point there, because that's a history there. But then this is what kept rubbing me the wrong way, and this was kept gaslighting me, was that it's been it's a fact now. It was reported today that the Dallas Cowboys are worth over $10 billion. $10 billion. That's with a B, like a B. $10 billion. The Dallas Cowboys are the first sports franchise in all the sports to hit the B first. 10 billion, right? So this is what Molly say, well, if you're worth 10 billion and you haven't won a postseason or been successful in the postseason, won a Super Bowl in 27 years, 28 years, 29 years, whatever it be, but here on First Take, we talk about him about 1,000 times a day. Why not? Why not, Jerry? And and Stephen was quiet. Stephen, he got, yeah. Then he went back to his point, the pattern, which, I can't argue against that pattern. That makes sense to me because although, Tony didn't win much, but I'm a huge Tony Romo fan. I'm a pro Tony. Tony should have got his job back. That's just me. And I know I'm like over here on the island with that thought process. I'm way over here by myself, and I'm okay with that. I don't need to be with everybody else. I'm okay with that. But the fact is, Jerry needs to go ahead and pay him because it's now become a really, really distraction because the Dallas Cowboys are the Dallas Cowboys. If they weren't Dallas Cowboys, it wouldn't be in the media. There wouldn't be a show called First Take, Get Up, all the other shows. That's the number one thing they talk about, I discuss, is the contracts of their wide receiver and their quarterback. But playing for the Dallas Cowboys, yes, it's going to be it. It is a distraction, even though we hadn't played our first regular season game yet. It is a distraction. And now, and the reason why I say it's a distraction because even though we're still in training camp right now, we're in the preseason, I should say, right now. It's because now the Cowboys that are soon to be up for contracts, they watch. They got TV, they got their internet. They are watching the same thing that we're watching. They're hearing the same thing that we're hearing. How Jerry is treating his players as number one wide receiver, and somebody's going to pay him. If Jerry don't pay him, if he sit out the whole year, okay, CD's going to get his money, so let's go ahead and pay him. But see, here's the kicker, as I kind of digress a little bit, they were saying, because Jerry got all this money, $10 billion, everybody got the same salary cap, all 32 teams. So that was the gaslighting part for me. Okay. Jerry just can't go in his well and take out part of his $1 billion and pay these players whatever they want like they can do in baseball. I think he can do it in baseball. So you have to stay within the confinements of that of the the salary cap. So keep in mind, we got Michael Parsons next year. Okay, he's coming right up, is right behind him, and so I from a business standpoint, none of these people in this round table, L. Duncan, Mad Dog, Kmart, Lewis Riddick. I mean, none of these guys are managing a professional football team. None of these people are managing the Dallas Cowboys. None of them. Understand, so, and understand also that's not neither one of them. Former football players, long-time sports broadcasters, none of them mentioned the term salary cap. None of them, how much they have to work with and who's coming up. But it was pointed out that the Dallas Cowboys, their players, are not being paid on the same level as far as superstars, as far as other teams, other players for other teams. So I'm not that's really complicated, the salary cap thing. I understand the whole ball. I mean the basics of it, but getting into the nuts and crannies of it, no, I don't. Because that's a lot of numbers, a lot of zeros, and dealing with the length of times, and then, all just the front end of the contract is guaranteed. A lot of it is not guaranteed on the back end, and it's a lot that dead money you paying players that no longer there. It can get complicated. And I tried to learn as much as I could just by playing Madden. But anyhow, I'm really digressing. But the fact is, I got really teed off, gaslit, because I get these same haters. And you get a bunch of haters together, and they have this camera on them, and it's all they talk about is the Dallas Cowboys, and nothing but the Dallas Cowboys. And they all, and most majority of them, I'm going to say majority, especially Miss Kmart, what's her name? Kimberly Kmart, Kimberly Martin. I apologize. Kimberly A. Martin. Love to talk about the Dallas Cowboys but she has this like little soft voice, little high pitched voice. She talks so very proper, the King's English, and she talks very so proper. And then her enunciation is on point, and just how you want to, and then she talks about and I'm like, God, but she's just shallow, and then I've read some things on her where some people, feel about her the way I feel about her, but then her comments, her kickback was, well, I'm on TV and you're not, you're watching me. Like, oh my gosh. So that's gaslighting right there. That's like, I'd rather not watch you, but you are there, and talking about my Dallas Cowboys. Man, damn. All right. J-Mac Sports 24/7. I'm J-Mac. Thank you for coming to the channel. If it's your first time, please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you like the channel or you like the video, please give me a like. We'd appreciate it. Till my next video, I'm out.